Hello, hello. We're doing a chit chat today, and we were diving into conversation right away. And I was like, no, hit record. Stop talking.
Hit record.
We were talking about how people are feeling energetically off right now and like what's going on. And then I was mentioning that Saturn is retrograde along with Neptune, along with Pluto, along with Chiron. Is there anything else?
Anything else retrograde?
Yeah.
Let me see. Did you say Saturn? You said Neptune?
Saturn,
you said
Neptune, Pluto.
You said Chiron.
Chiron.
That's it.
Okay. And
that's it. I think Mercury might still be in like the shadow after shadow.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe. Let's just say that, just to throw that in the mix.
But I do think that not enough people or astrologers pay attention to Saturn retrograde and how that energy affects us. And if you take a moment and recognize that Saturn takes its time to unfold the lessons, and he's been retrograde for a little bit. But when he goes retrograde, I don't feel like it's Mercury where it's like, bam, Mercury retrograde starts today. Everybody be aware. It's more like, oh, Saturn's retrograde. Uh-oh, what's coming? It's more like where are the rule changes going to affect me? Or where, like, there's timing issues, there's rules, there's structure, there's stability, all of these themes with Saturn. There's fear, there's judgment, there's shame.
Yeah, because I have, like, personally, I've had a crazy week and like very strangely crazy, like feeling very like fated crazy, and like, I don't know, something's going on subconsciously and I'm not so sure what it is. It's like something's working through me.
Do you want to mention what happened, like, a little bit? Because I do think it is an interesting situation.
Yes. Okay. So I used to live in Australia. I lived there for 4 or 5 years, and I moved away from there. Let's say, I think it was like 13 years ago I was there last. And the way I moved away wasn't really like a clean cut, like packing my bags, goodbye country. It was more like, wow, I'm coming back soon. And then it just never happened.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of myself still back there. I feel like I have a lot of people there that I want to meet again. I have a lot of myself that over there that I want to meet again, mostly that. So I booked a trip to go back, and I went to the airport and I got my snacks, had my lunch, did my airport shopping, went to the gate, flights canceled. And I was so ready to go. And
it was the actual airplane, like you were at the gate.
Yeah.
It was the actual airplane, like there was an issue with it or something, or you don't know?
Yeah, they didn't say, but I'm assuming there was an issue with the plane.
Okay.
And then I was rescheduled for 2 days later. And those 2 days later, all of me just shifted. Everything just shifted. Yeah. Something dramatically changed inside. I'm not so sure what it is, but it ended up in me actually canceling like the whole thing, the whole trip, everything.
And it was 2.5 weeks.
I was going to be there for 2.5 weeks, travel to the other side of the world, and it didn't happen. And it sent me, it got me feeling all different types of emotions, and I don't really understand what happened myself, to be honest. But I spoke to a friend yesterday, and she has had also like a really crazy week. I've heard about other people. I've seen like people I follow on Instagram also saying that, like, what is going on now for the last couple of days? Everything's just been going sideways. Like everything I touch, sort of like just, gets broken. And that's what I feel like. I feel like everything I did from Sunday onwards was just like, I don't really I don't know what happened. It was almost like it wasn't me acting.
Yeah.
But I was thinking then about, of course, like what's going on astrologically, what's happening. And it was a very calm week. Like we just had on Sunday, we had a Mars Mercury sextile, and then nothing for a couple of days. But did we talk about this before too? Like when there's not so much happening in the sky, you look to the bigger planets, the big
integration players.
Yes, and that is Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde,
Neptune retrograde,
Uranus
newly into Gemini.
Yes,
so that's a big one.
I think so. And also, I don't know if it could already be the eclipse season coming because I don't know. I'm just looking for like what is going on and it feels super karmically loaded
Well, I'm
and
I'm just looking at
we're
your
heading into
personal
eclipse
chart.
season.
And I mean, you have some personal things that it's hitting. Can I pull your chart
Tell
up?
me.
Okay.
Help me. Help.
Help me, oh wise astrologer. Tell me what's
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
So when I pull your chart up with the progressions and the transit, the first thing I looked
Yeah.
at was your progressed moon. And I saw that immediately it is on your IC right now, on the start of your fourth house. So in
Yeah.
Gemini. So
Yeah.
it's at the precipice or the doorway of leaving the third house of your mindset and entering the fourth house of your home and
Yeah.
family. And so we've talked a lot about your home and family recently, and there's some changes possibly coming up there where you live or wherever. And
Mm.
I think this is really the energetics you're feeling is the mindset with Gemini, this
Yeah.
progressed moon in Gemini. And Gemini is something I live with frequently with my rising and my moon. The changeability is irritating. It like this is 43 years now of experience. I
Yeah.
irritate my own self frequently.
It's so I have been so annoyed with myself this week.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Because the indecision is so
Mm-hmm. That's
powerful.
exactly it.
And you've
Yes.
got Uranus. Of course, everyone's got Uranus and
Yeah.
Gemini right now. But for you, it's literally at the precipice of entering into your third house. So he's at the
Yeah.
doorway, exiting stability and safety and self reliance and entering into your mindset and your thought patterns and your rational mind. And so, of course, you're going to have some chaotic changes with the
Mm.
thinking process and the way you make decisions. So you have
Yeah.
your emotional growth, which is a progressed moon, the growing up period or the emotional development through Gemini is leaving the mindset and entering into the family and home. And then the
Mm.
planet of authenticity and ruling your nervous system and carrying these messages of hormones through your nervous system is entering into your mindset. And now you're changing your mind. But not only that, you got
Yeah.
Jupiter there natally.
Yeah.
So
I
that's just
know. Yeah, I've been
obnoxious.
looking at that. Yes.
So we've got
Oh
obnoxious
my
and big
goodness.
and expansive around
Hmm.
being the guru or the learned one or learning something more expansive. So, of course, that is also the planet of travel.
Hmm.
So, you were really excited to suddenly make this plan to travel.
Hmm.
And then
it was very quick.
it's
Yeah, I
very
booked it
quick.
like 5 days before I was leaving.
Yeah. And then you told me, I was like, ooh, look at you being spontaneous. But then I
Yeah.
checked your solar return chart, which is a Sag rising. And I was like, that makes sense. Right. And I
Mm.
saw this Uranus, Jupiter right here. And I was like, that makes sense. And, but, slash, and
Mm.
the
Yeah.
change, the sudden change to not go also makes sense.
Yeah.
Sagittarius rising, you absolutely reserve the right to change your mind. Do not box me in. Do not tell me I have to travel. Well, I was ready to travel that day. If I would have went on that day, it would have been fine. But now you want me to go on this other day and it doesn't energetically align. Now I have to change my mind.
Yes, it was like it was so crazy how it just like I was so ready, like let's go, and then they something like they I don't know who they is, but like whatever happened,
The
they canceled
powers
flight.
that,
They changed it for me, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm not okay with this. I'm not going then.
yeah. So think about, look at
And
two
yeah,
major things in the area of life of mindset for you and
yeah,
thinking and in the sign of changeability. So that makes a lot of sense. And then this Uranus connection to Pluto over here, right? We've got a Uranus
yeah,
Pluto conversation going in the sky in Aquarius and in Gemini at early degrees. So whenever anything's at an early degree, I always tell people this is brand new baby energy. It's like a toddler figuring out life. What happens
yeah,
if I put this screwdriver in this outlet? Oh, that hurts. Don't do that.
yeah,
Right? What happens if I run and jump off of this thing onto the floor? Ouch, that gravity hurts. Don't do that. Right? We have to learn the hard way when it's early
mm,
degrees of things. You had to learn
yeah,
the hard way to book your ticket and learn the energetics. And then the plane trip got canceled. And then you had to learn those energetics. And then you went back home and you're like, oh, my
mm,
home. And you had to be
mm,
in those energetics. And maybe that was the lesson you needed. I don't know. Maybe you don't need to go to Australia right now to quote unquote close things up. Maybe you just
yeah,
needed the idea of it.
yeah. No, it's been like I have no idea what's been going on with me this because I didn't know. having a flight canceled and then and then canceling the rest yourself could be could send you on such a through such a portal of emotions. It's been yeah, I've been on a trip even though I never went anywhere. Like I have emotionally been on such a trip. And I don't know, that's why I was thinking about the like eclipse season because
Yeah,
eclipse season. But the thing is, actually, also one more thing. We had a new moon just a couple of days
we
ago,
did in Virgo.
and yes, and I feel like that one might have been playing its part too. Like it felt very strong for me because
Yeah.
that one was square to Uranus.
Yes.
Well, and Uranus, like we have just been saying, has been conjunct my Jupiter and like doing a lot for me. Then I guess so. This new moon
So square to
really
your natal
felt.
Jupiter.
Mm,
Yeah, honestly. So and you said you mentioned when you told me that it got canceled and you weren't going and you were feeling upset, you mentioned something that said it didn't feel right for my safety. Now the second house is where Jupiter lies for you. He's at the doorway, just at the
yeah.
tail end of the second house. But you need to really be wise or learned or smart about your safety,
Mm,
right? Isn't that what you would really interpret Jupiter in the second house, especially at the tail end? Like really becoming
mm,
knowledgeable about your own safety, which second house to me is always safety.
yeah.
Like core
That's so true.
having a roof over your head. And you had said some of the people you were going to visit were not able to house you or be with you or hang out anymore. And that had changed. And
That had also changed. Yeah.
you didn't quite know where you were going to stay or what you were going to
Mm.
do. And that changed your safety.
Yeah, it just the thing is that I feel like this week I really got a taste of like when you think that you have it all planned out and you're so happy about something and then yeah, you know how you say like that saying of like tell God your plan and then the rest goes like and he will laugh in your face or something. I don't know.
Yep.
But it just felt like that. Like but I had it all planned out. And
But
then I it's like it hurts not being able to follow through with my plan,
yeah,
but I really couldn't.
no.
But again, it really hurts. And that is
Well,
just like the lesson is in there.
let's go down to your
Um
intuition now. So if we look at
yeah,
Neptune and Saturn, they have been conjunct for a while, right?
yeah,
So Neptune and Saturn have been conjunct for a while, and they're just starting to separate. They've been like on each
yeah.
other, like spooning.
They've been
And now
spooning.
they're finally
Mm,
going, okay, that's enough cuddling. Let's you sleep on that side of the bed, I'll sleep on this side. They're
yeah.
starting to separate a little bit from their spooning conjunction. So we're starting to get a little bit of a breath from this confusion around this hard work and discipline and structure we're supposed to create in our life. And not only
Mm,
that, this is happening literally on top of your natal Ceres, the asteroid or dwarf
yeah,
planet that has everything to do with how we do our self care, nourish ourselves, take care of
yeah.
ourselves. And this is really, I think, auspicious that these two planets are going backwards. And
Mm.
before you went on this trip, you literally had to go backwards and go home.
Yes. No, it was so like I told you, it felt like Ferris. No, what's this movie called? Like Groundhog Day. Because
Yes.
the thing is, I went to the airport. I was driving there. I had to stop to get gas, and I exactly the same and I stopped and I got gas from like pump number 4 or something. And then exactly the other time I was supposed to go there, the exact same thing happened at the exact same place, and I was just like, what is this? I feel like I'm in some sort of a little crazy loop
A loop.
right
Yeah.
now.
Isn't that
Like it
interesting?
did not feel real. Yeah. Auspicious.
It's
Yes.
so interesting to think about because I mean, we've talked about retrogrades so many times on this show about how it's really this moment of go back into the hotel room and double check before
Yeah.
you leave, right? And
Yes.
you literally had to go back home and double check before you left. And then the actual leaving was like, no, something's not right.
Yes. And we were talking, you and me were talking, you had a really good pep talk with me
Yeah.
about going. And then I was saying to you, like, I feel like this means that I have to go back now. I get the chance to do it all again because I get to go to the airport again. So I was thinking and telling you like there's something I need to do different. What? But I didn't know what. I was like, what is it that I need to do different? And I guess it was to not go.
To not go. To
Yeah.
not go. But how I want to talk about
I
Saturn and Neptune because you really did, I feel, listen to your intuition and what you needed for self care. Like that's really what this
Mhm.
transit is intuitive knowing of self-care. And Aries is no has no qualms about changing their mind. Aries energy, which is where
Mhm.
Ceres and Saturn and Neptune are here in your chart, in your first house of I am learning to
Mm.
change my mind when it doesn't nourish me, when it doesn't support my needs, when it doesn't help me with
Yeah.
my self care. And it felt like since it's almost like the dominoes started falling and like things weren't lining up and things just weren't, you kept trying to get things to line up and
Yeah.
it just
Yeah. It
wasn't.
just wouldn't. And the thing is, before everything was just lining up, like everything was magically. I was telling people like it feels so aligned, even though I booked it so last minute. Everything was just aligning,
Yeah.
amazing. I felt so great, and then everything started to fall apart.
Yeah.
Like the same way it had come together, it just started to come apart.
I absolutely love that. I think it's so honestly the
It
way
was
your chart is set up, especially your natal Venus in Gemini, what you spend your money on can change.
hmm
Just like that. Gemini has
yeah,
energy that shifts on a dime. Aries has energy that shifts on a dime. Like these are all very quick changing energies and they're lit up in your chart.
but it's exhausting, Laura.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
I firmly agree that this is
Yeah.
so uncomfortable for your Capricorn rising and Capricorn
Oh
moon.
yes, yes,
Like that
yes.
feels, of course, judgmental and shamey or guilty or
Mhm.
whatever. Oh, I spent this
I've been
money
going
and I
through heavy
wasted my
emotions. Oh
time.
yeah,
And man, Capricorns
yeah.
hate wasting time, hate it.
Yeah. And it didn't feel like because everything right now it felt so like well planned. And
Mhm.
now when the plan is coming apart and I don't know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
that really hurts.
Oh gosh, that just
Yeah.
that literally, if you could really get a Capricorn moon person to really feel their feelings, that's it
Mhm.
right there.
Yeah, and I cried like never before.
You did because you had this
Yeah.
plan and this structure, and it's almost like you were building this building, and something a hurricane came through and knocked it all down, and you were like, "But, but I
Yeah.
had built it so nice."
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be.
Uh yeah, I feel really like smacked around, but it's almost like I'm not like I'm also like not happy about it, but I am accepting it. I'm just trying to wrap my head around, trying now to see in the review mirror like
Yes.
why, you know?
Well,
And
now
I guess that's gonna
the
hmm
sun in the sky is having a trine to your natal Neptune, your natal intuition, and they're in Virgo
mm,
and Capricorn. So the sun is really almost like phone calling your intuition and your planet of surrender and acceptance and letting go, and almost like put the boat in the water and let it drift off into Neverland,
yeah,
right? You have to do that right now and trust that you were divinely guided into this decision and onto this path, right? That's really what
yeah,
I think Sun in Virgo, which is for your health, for your highest good, analyzing what isn't working so that we can make healthy changes for what is
mm,
working is so important. And then, of course, having a lovely conversation with your intuition and spiritual connection. Like it's time for you to just be okay that this is how it went and just surrender to to
yeah.
the way it was. It's all right.
But you know what I struggle with? I struggle with the balance between making my own decisions or like taking action on something
Mm-hmm.
and being like intuitively guided.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
sometimes where I should give like I feel like sometimes I'm like I feel like I'm not taking action on something because I'm just waiting for something to fall in my lap and I don't think that's how it happens, but at the same time when I'm trying to take a lot of action and then sometimes I can end up confused like right now, you
Yes.
know?
Yes. Well, you have a Venus opposite Saturn, you have a Venus opposite
Yeah.
Uranus, and you have a Neptune opposite Juno and Chiron. So these are back and forth confusing confusing placements to have. Like, how do I spend
Mm.
my money is opposite the planet of being mature, but also being authentic, but
Mm.
also being weird and also being suddenly unique and suddenly different. So like you do want to suddenly spend your money to be this
I love
authentic
it.
person,
I
and
love that.
but then
Yes.
at the same time we have that Saturn judgment right there.
hmm
Your Saturn and Uranus are 1 degree apart in Sagittarius. So you've got the planet of judgment right next to your planet of don't box me in, damn it. I want to be free.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't get to be free in this life because Saturn is going, no, no, we need to think about this. We need to take our time.
Oh, yeah. But
And
how do
Uranus hates
you
that shit. Hates it.
Yes. No, I am craving freedom, and that's also I think what's been hurting a lot about not going because I really crave that freedom. Um,
It's almost like you have to take this time and find freedom in a different way than what you think it is
yeah.
or than what you think you need, right? Um, maybe finding freedom within your own town, within your own country, within your own space, right?
Yeah.
But not viewing freedom as it has to be this trip to Australia, but
Yeah.
what else could freedom look like? Where I am a little bit more responsible and disciplined, right?
Yeah. And I think it also like it does not help to be on Instagram and seeing people flying all over the world, like, like just making money of I don't know what, like
Right.
being an influencer perhaps, and just being able to travel here and travel there. And I follow a lot of traveling accounts, and because that's what I like. And then when you don't get to do that, you see everyone is like, oh, it looks so easy. It looks
Yeah.
so easy. Why am I not doing that? What? Why not me? And the FOMO around that.
Yeah.
Um, but things are not also like it's also like at this time in our lives, not in our lives like this age. I mean, where we are right now, 2025,
Yep.
things are not what they seem. So I have to remind myself also that,
Yep.
Okay, sure, a lot of people are traveling. Yes. It does not mean they have a great life. It does not mean everything else is solved because they are flying around.
Yep.
It does not mean that they're content. It doesn't mean that it's even the right thing for me to do. Like it doesn't, it could mean a lot of things. It also could not mean a lot of things. Like
Look at you
it's
leaning into your values in Gemini right now, working those back and forth. Look at you. You're trying to figure this shit out. I value this, but I
yeah,
value what they're doing, but I value, but
yeah,
girl, I'm telling you, Gemini can
yeah,
fuck with people. Like it really
yeah,
does. And you have to be able to step back and go, okay, here I'm in Gemini mode right now. Look at me. Okay. I see that and I see that and I see that. It's zooming out and just recognizing both sides of the equation and not identifying with either one. Just being
yeah,
okay that both are true.
yeah,
It's not easy. And that's in your sixth house of daily shit you
yeah.
have to deal with daily, every day.
hmm I know. I know. You know what? I used to be this person that I used to walk into a restaurant, sit down somewhere, feel that this is not a good table I want to sit at, change the table, and still be discontent and change it like a third time. I've stopped that
Serious?
because I just can't. Actually, I did it yesterday once.
Are you
Yes.
serious?
Yes, this is how when I am like in periods, I'm worse. And I think I'm having one of those periods in my life right now when I'm quite like the indecisiveness is very real and it's manifesting and it makes everything even worse. Like even when I ate at a restaurant yesterday, I couldn't decide what to get and I chose the wrong thing. And then I was like trying to make it better. I was telling my boyfriend like I cannot make the right decision. Like what should I eat? Because whatever I'm gonna choose is gonna be the wrong thing.
That's so interesting. I frequently have to narrow down what I choose and where we go by what I don't want. I know I do not want pasta. I know I do not want this. Okay, I don't know what I do want yet, but I'm clear on what I don't want. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I have to make decisions. It has to be that way.
Yeah. So okay, so Gemini, people who struggle with with Gemini energy, like I am doing right now.
Yeah.
So for us, we just need to realize that both sides are valid. And then what? We can't make a decision.
Well, then you lean into your decision maker, which is Mars, right? So for you, Mars is at 5 degrees Aries.
So it's just for me, it's just like just do something.
Just do something. Make a quick
Yeah.
decision that sounds the most fun, right? Aries is always
Yeah.
reaching for fun and or a fight. So if you'd like to avoid the fight, you have to go to fun. There's no other option.
Mm.
I named my little Aries Felix, and he is either looking for a fight or he's looking for fun, and that's Felix. He just
Yeah.
that's him. And it is very important that you recognize your planet of action is right next to your planet of what feels good, what nourishes me. So your decision comes from, will this nourish me properly, or will I have a energetic hangover or a physical hangover from it, right? Will I be out too late, or is it alcohol or whatever? And so
Mm.
you have to analyze that. And then if it's something that supports your energy and raises the vibration and sounds fun, do it. Ooh, calamari. That sounds fun. I think that would feed me. That's got some protein. But I like, I had it last. Okay, I'm going to go, boom, decision. And then
Yeah.
shut the menu and put it away. Don't keep looking at,
Yeah.
don't look at anybody else's plate. Don't look at
Yeah.
the menu anymore. Just make the decision and be done. That's what I would do, or what I have to do when I get stuck in this analysis paralysis.
Yeah, because you have your moon in Gemini.
And my rising and these things.
Yeah.
And then I have 4 planets in Libra. I have my
Mm,
value system in Aquarius. I
mm.
genuinely, and then my mind in Pisces. I genuinely struggle minute by minute with decision making.
So
It's
can I
no joke.
ask you, when it comes to like big sort of life decisions, because this was sort of a big life decision, because I don't know how many times I'm gonna travel to the other side of the world.
Right.
Um, how do you deal with that? Like mixing in your, because it has to be, it can't just be all like sitting back and letting the universe do its thing. Like, what do you do?
Trust my gut. I go down into my gut. Like I muscle test with my body, or
Mm,
I go down. I have this takes effort for me to get out of my head and drop down into my gut. And
mhm.
I say, does this feel good? And I know
Yes.
you were doing that because you told me something doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel good.
It's just hard to accept that that was the answer and that was the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And the answer isn't always easy. It isn't always fun to
No, we don't
accept it.
always get the answer we want.
No, no.
But my boyfriend, who is 5 planets in Taurus in the 11th house, is a very wise guy, and he was telling me the other day, not this was before everything happened, and we were talking about, I don't know what we we're talking about, but he was saying that how the mind is actually like not really our friend. And I sort of agree, like
I don't think it is
the
either.
mind, no, the mind is like always trying to play tricks on us, always
Yeah.
trying to pull us this way, saying things, la la la, like taking us away on the detour, and then it's like everything is just in the body. It's like the mind is constantly trying to pull us away from the body. And
Yes.
yes, our mind
Yes.
can, it can be our friend, but it has to become our bitch in a
Yeah.
way. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
we have to start controlling our mind. And that's what was happening to me. I just let my mind just take control of everything,
Yep.
and maybe my gut as well. But then afterwards, when I've been spiraling after the decision making, I just let my mind take the wheel, and it was not great.
Yeah. This is where I'm listening to the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And this is exactly what he talks about right here, on how
Yeah.
we get ourselves in this programming. And once it's a comfortable programming, our mind doesn't want to separate from that programming, even if it's not healthy, even if it's an
Mm.
abusive situation. It's an abusive situation we know and we understand, and we're going to stay in that because moving it beyond that might be scary. And so our mind does keep us prisoner a lot. So the whole premise of breaking the habit of being yourself is really shifting the thought process and
Yeah.
adjusting the thought process over and over and over, and being able to step outside of who you think you are or how you think you behave.
Hmm.
And it's a fascinating book. You'd probably enjoy listening to it or reading it right now in this energy
Yeah.
that you're in right now. But
Yeah. It's like as uncomfortable as everything is, it's also sort of interesting to have this happen because I am being reminded that, like, because, I thought I was in such a great place. And maybe, I still am, but I felt like I was so stable, nothing can go wrong with anything because I'm a grown up now. Yeah, I've learned about life. I'm just 37. I don't know anything, you know? And I was reminded of that now, like how quickly your mind can just take control and you can just feel so many things and you don't know what's going on.
yeah,
And so I feel like, okay, great. I have a lot to learn and I have a lot I need to work on my like handling and my not emotions because my emotions worked fine. Like I cried a lot. It was great.
they were great.
Uh, they were great. They were doing amazing. It was my mind. I have to learn to
Well, your mind
take
is at
control of it.
27 degrees Cancer.
Yeah.
In
It's feeling.
it's anybody who's got their mind in a water sign like you and I,
Mm,
it can get away from us real
mhm.
fast, and
Yeah.
it can create a lovely storm on the ocean real fast. And
Yeah.
now we're lost in the storm, and we get turned around, and we get flipped over, and we get almost drowned, and it's very chaotic energy when your mind is in a water sign. And
Yeah.
I think
It's
that's
like I have a moody mind,
I
like
think that's
Cancer is
part of
very
the
moody.
problem.
So
Yeah.
it's very like up and down, like a roller coaster. So it's
Yeah.
just adding to this Gemini thing, sort of
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And now we have to go back to the 12th house because you have four planets
Hmm.
there. Saturn,
Hmm.
Uranus conjunct in Sag, Neptune in Capricorn, and Moon in Capricorn. Now, the 12th house, we talk about this a lot. It's there's a lot of astrologers that, ooh, it's the house of undoing and it's the house of the unconscious. And people are like, what does that mean? Well, you got to think about what we can unconsciously do in our life. Most of our functions are unconscious, but a lot of it, if we're not aware of it and being mindful about it, we can self sabotage big time. So, this is the area of life of self sabotage. So, the planet of hard work and discipline
Yeah.
and being mature around chaotic changes is
Mm.
there, right? You in your life, you're going to have to work hard and be mature to work through restrictive sudden changes, which is what Saturn and Uranus are.
And they're in
Restriction.
Sagittarius, which is all about traveling too.
Yeah.
And
Risk.
this is like a story that's been like has happened. This is not the first time something like this happens.
Right.
It was a long time ago, but this has happened similarly
But if you
before.
think about the energy of self sabotage, and then you think about the planet of restriction and limitation, Saturn, and then you think about the conjunction with sudden change and helping you get onto a more authentic path. That's what Uranus wants. I want to change shit because this isn't authentic. This isn't working for our vibe. We need to get more into our unique vibe. We have to have a sudden change. But the sudden change usually is caused by a restriction of some kind and a restriction not of your choosing because it's Saturn. So it would be a government or an authority figure or an airline.
Mhm. Yeah.
And this restriction would be very jolting to your nervous system. Now, your job with 12th house is to go, Jesus, take the wheel. And you just surrender and go, wow, thanks, source. Thank you so much for protecting me and helping me get on the path I'm supposed to be on. Clearly, I couldn't see it because Neptune's in this house too. I couldn't see
Mhm.
the path I was on. I thought I was on the right one, but you saved me from whatever and
Something. Yeah.
put me on the right path for my alignment. And your job is just to put your hands up and let it go, like Elsa, right? Let it
Yeah.
go, let it go. It's not your shit anymore. Let it go, right?
Yeah.
You have to surrender. 12th house energy is surrender to that shit. Surrender to that shit. Surrender to that shit. You have to.
Yeah.
And you can't judge it, which is Saturn. And then, of course, you have Capricorn moon, Capricorn Neptune, Capricorn rising. So judgmental.
Yeah. And that has been like for my fellow Capricorns, that has been really like that we can be really tough on
So hard on
ourselves.
yourself. So hard on
Yeah.
yourself. And I'm over here going, let it go, let it go. It's not
Yeah.
your shit anymore. You
Yeah.
have to
But
surrender.
yeah, I really had to work through that though. I was uh having really Capricorn thoughts and feelings, and it was really felt just really hard. And I was judging myself a lot, but it felt like I had to sort of have those emotions before, and I was trying to, you know, in my mind I knew that this is not correct, but I sort of just have to think about these a few times, and then I was sort of through it. But it took
Yeah.
like it's an earth sign. It took some
Time.
time. It took some
Time.
time. Yeah.
It's very, you have Capricorn there and Saturn.
Yeah.
Everything about this process of you surrendering in the 12th house is
It
time.
takes time.
Everything.
Yeah.
Do,
Yeah.
do, 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 do. Do,
Yep.
do, 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 do,
Mm.
you are not, you do not have Gemini in the 12th like me. You do not just quickly feel your feelings, move on, cry, and go cut the grass on the golf course. Like that's how I processed my shit
Yeah.
the other day. Had a massive purge, emotional purge from guilt and crap from dogs and dog training stuff from years ago. And oh my gosh, it was just a big
Mm.
hoopla. And I was bringing up emotional stuff from the past that I had no idea was in there. And I cried it all out and snotted it all out and wiped my face and hugged my husband and hugged my kids. And then I went and cut grass and I was fine. It's not your energy. That's my energy. Your
Mm.
energy is I need a couple days for
Yeah.
real, a couple days. If I got into that state for a couple days, somebody better call a mental institution because I'm not okay. Right.
Yeah.
Because I process things so quickly that if I'm down for more than a few hours, we better call in some troops. We need some help.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
you, that would be so normal to have days of processing.
Yeah.
And this, my friends, is where astrology is so helpful.
Yeah.
You don't have to be upset. You don't have to, get wondering, what am I doing wrong? You just go, oh, okay. It doesn't necessarily make the processing easier,
Mm.
but it
No.
does help you to go, this is where I have to surrender right here. This is it. Okay, here it is. I have Saturn conjunct Mars in the fifth house of play and fun and children. And I don't know if this is correct, but if other astrologers interpret this, but I always think of the fifth house as like teenagerville, or like kids from like age 7 to 18 is like, I always think
Mm.
that's the energy of fifth house. It's very fun,
Mm.
playful, kind of spontaneous, a little bit
Yeah.
carefree, leave your shoes at the door and just go play and do your thing. Like, not really care about the responsibility of cleaning up after yourself and things like that. So I have my karmic planet there right next to my drive and ambition. So I'm super driven to do these things.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I lose my motherfucking mind every day because of the challenge that is presented every single day with having 5 children. And I have to every single day go, this is the karma. This is the work, Laura. Stop asking why this is happening. You know why this is happening. This is what we have to work through. Literally, I will talk to myself as I'm cleaning up whatever mess for the 100th time, or talking to the child about the same thing for the 100th time. And like, of course, this is all happening in Libra. So I'm always talking about respect and like, why are you not respecting this? Or what is going on here that we've talked about this? Do you want me to get punishment? Do you want me to go like government corporal punishment on you? I can. Saturn's right there. And they're like, no. I was like, then you need to respect me. And this is constantly driving me bonkers. And this is the lesson. This is where I have to work hard. And I know it. It doesn't make it any freaking easier to deal with.
Yeah.
But I know it.
Yeah. I feel like giving homework to everyone who's listening, actually.
Do it.
Just because I'm a Capricorn rising, so
Give
I
them that
love
homework.
I'm gonna give you homework. So on brand. To find I spat all over my keyboard. To find Saturn in your chart
Yes.
and see what it is doing. Where is it in your chart? In what sign? In what house? Is it making any sort of, does it have any relationships with other planets in your chart, like natally your own? Does it have a conjunction,
Yep.
a square,
Yep.
position, a trine? What is it doing? What's going on with Saturn in your chart?
And where's the
Because
transiting Saturn in your chart?
and where is transiting to Saturn? Because because it's retrograde right now in the sky. And yeah, obviously there is just so many lessons to learn about Saturn. Also, I'm going through a Saturn square to Saturn.
You are.
So this is
Yeah.
also a thing. But yeah, please look at your Saturns. Don't be like me. Let it surprise you. Or like that's always, you think you're so prepared for everything, and then you just get smacked and showed like, ha, you didn't know anything.
Well, it's like
You weren't
knowing the
prepared for
weather.
this.
You can know that a
You
blizzard
don't
is
know.
coming. You can be prepared for a blizzard and it can still kick your butt. And suddenly your house is buried in snow and you have to shovel for hours and hours or what. Like, you can still be prepared for something and it still smacks you. Like, there's
Yeah. Yeah, or like you're looking at the weather report and it says clear skies, all sunny, and then you go outside and it's sunny, and then it starts raining.
Yeah.
And it's sunny at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know how I could prepare for this.
No.
I couldn't.
You couldn't. So I think that's part of what we have to recognize is the Saturn conjunction with Neptune is now separating. And they are going to separate for the rest of the year as Saturn moves quicker in his retrograde cycle and goes back to 25 degrees Pisces, which happens to be on my Mercury. So I'm like, oh, good. Yeah. One more hit.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's restriction and
One
hard
more
work.
hit.
Right?
One more hit. Yeah.
restriction and hard work with my mind. And I'm already going, am I not working hard enough with my mind already? Like, what the hell, man? So I'm already struggling with that, knowing that's coming and knowing there's going to be more discipline I have to do with my mental status or my communication or whatever is coming. And then he's going to go back into Aries. They'll meet up again, Neptune and Saturn, but they're going to separate for a little bit. So I think that gives us an opportunity to see clearly, or a little bit more clearly, without that foggy Neptune there. Yeah. And to see what our hard work is and what our discipline needs to be and where there are restrictions in our life, right? You're supposed to be taking care of the way you eat and the way you nourish yourself. That's what Saturn wants you to be working on right now. And if you were on vacation, maybe you wouldn't be doing that as much. Maybe you would be eating more luxurious food or more fatty foods or sweet foods or something, right? And that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be very disciplined about how you nourish your body right now. Very disciplined.
I was trying to hold that in.
That was great. I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so I think the homework, what everyone should do, you might not be pros like me and Laura. So what you should do is just find your Saturn.
Yep.
Write down, you can Google this, like write down like maybe 2-3 keywords of what Saturn represents, just a planet. And then you find the sign that Saturn is in your chart. And you find 2 or 3 keywords that represents that sign. And then you find what house Saturn is. And you find 2 or 3 keywords what that house represents. And then you look at all of those 3 things together. The
put
planet,
them together.
The sign, the house. And then you maybe do some freestyle writing about those.
Perfect.
About just all of that together.
Oh, I love that. That's so wonderful. It's disciplined and it's creative with Neptune and it's Aries. So it's something new. And you don't have to write for very long, but maybe you set a timer for like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Or you can just write those keywords and just be like, okay, let's see. You could even, it would be really interesting if you could write us on our Instagram. I'm going to put a post up for this week's episode, and in the comment field, please write your Saturn placements and like some keywords. And let's chat about it all together.
I love that. What a great homework assignment.
I think we have the same name as this show on Instagram, so not too hard to find us.
Yeah, on there or YouTube or whatever. So we'd love to hear from you and how your Saturn energy is going. But we have to pay attention to where the planet of authority is in the chart. We got to have eyes on the authority figure and what he's doing, because he's no joke.
No.
Awesome. Thank you for listening to us today, guys, and tuning in with our discovery of our own charts and our own energies. And I hope this was helpful, Helena.
Yes, it was. Thank you. Like I've the processing is still happening, but it's getting easier and easier. And I mean, I'm laughing today. I've been laughing for a couple of days.
Good.
Hysterically.
Good. Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you next week. Bye.
Thank you for joining us this week. Be sure to like and support the show by sharing with a friend or joining us on Patreon. And you can buy us a tea or coffee and financially support us. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated.